brittle. Look at this heart, it plays like a fiddle. A bit out of tune, a bit old and dusty. My fingers are callous, and that's what I must be. You're sitting there, your own little bubble, an empty bottle in your hand, 'cause life is giving you trouble. When you caught my eye, you and I both knew that here we are trying to drown the life we're used to. I just hope that you will let me buy you a drink, sing you a song, you'll sing along, and we can find all the answers to the questions that are keeping us down. Don't even think we can be wrong, just come along and make a mistake with me. Another round, another story. I don't want to hear about the ones that came before me. My time with you, I wouldn't trade a single minute. Yes, we're both the mess, but at least we can admit it. I just hope that you will let me buy you a drink, sing you a song, you'll sing along, and we can find all the answers to the questions that are keeping us down. Don't even think we can be wrong, just come along and make a mistake with me. You want to find your way home, I want to find my way with you. We both can find our way together. Just let me buy you a drink, sing you a song, you'll sing along, and we can find all the answers to the questions that are keeping us down. Don't even think we can be wrong, just come along and make a mistake with me. Just make a mistake with me. Make a mistake with me. Make a mistake with me.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome back. My name is John Taglieri. I am your host. This is the Sunday Storytellers series. Welcome back. It's Sunday. It's 6 o'clock. This is what we do, right? We are right now live on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Periscope, as well as broadcasting on the Plymouth Rock TV channel on Roku. I'm reminding you yet again, as I have been for the whole month, that as of July 5th, we are going exclusively to Roku. So if you don't have a Roku yet, go get one. They're $29. You're going to get a whole bunch of channels. It's your first step on cutting the cord and getting away from that big cable bill. But we're going to be strictly and exclusively on the Plymouth Rock TV channel on Roku starting July 5th. So make sure you do something before then to get yourself set up. You'll get snippets. You'll still see everybody who's going to be on the show. I'll give you some highlights and maybe a song or two. I'm going to tease you. But to see the whole thing and really appreciate all the singers and songwriters that we're bringing on, you're going to have to be on Roku with us. If you've got a newer smart TV, Roku's probably part of it already. So you probably have that all set. Don't forget, we're also 7 p.m. Thursdays on the Plymouth Rock TV channel Roku. And you can stream it anytime. It's on demand, both on YouTube and on Roku. So you can do that anytime. I want to say thanks for coming back this week. Do appreciate it. The show is growing, and it's thanks to you that it is. We have a great guest today, someone who I'm a big fan of, and I'm truly excited that she said yes to coming on the show. We've known each other a long time, and I've watched her career kind of blossom. And as a fellow indie, I get to see, what some of the other indies do. And I get to see the ones who do it right, and I get to see the ones who don't do it right. And there's been a lot of them in my career that were the next big thing, who I didn't see them doing it right. And their next big thing went... My guest today is Amy Gerhartz. And Amy is one of those people you may not know, but she's had a career to be really proud of. And she is a singer-songwriter and self-love advocate that blends pop, rock, folk, and other genres. She's recorded 3 full-length albums and is currently working on more music. She has performed all around the country with her original music, connecting with her audiences at festivals and fairs, and then house concerts and online shows now. She's been nominated for Best Pop Album and Best Pop EP at the Independent Music Awards. She's done 6 cross-country independent tours and has been an artist on the Rock Boat 5 times, as well as an alumni of Rock by the Sea. She's opened for and shared stages with people like Sister Hazel and Jason Mraz and Better Than Ezra and Carbon Leaf and so many, many more. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on my guest, Amy Gerhartz.
Hi.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
I'm great, John. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. It's been a fun few months being able to have folks like you come on the show, and I love that I get to bring this music to everybody. I wasn't kidding with everything I just said. I've been a big fan of yours for many years.
This feels nice. I need to have you intro all my stuff.
You could just take this video and play it before your shows.
Great.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit more about you than I did?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a musician, for what feels like forever at this point in my life and my career. I grew up singing and playing music. I come from a pretty musical family, or at least half of my family is really musical. I went to school for music. I went to Florida State University. That's where I picked up a guitar. I was probably 20 years old when I bought my first guitar. I'd been songwriting probably since I was in high school. I don't think the songs got good until much later in life. But yeah, I've been playing music live pretty much since 2003. And then in 2007, I quit my job to do music full time and to pursue a career in music. And I've been doing that ever since. And so I've just been really blessed and fortunate. I've made lots of connections with lots of wonderful people and have been able to tour across country independently and to sell my music and just connect with people. So I'm very, very blessed.
And you're also, lately, in the last few years, you've delved into inspirational speaking.
I have. I'm actually working on some speeches right now, or some talks. A friend of mine is convincing me to put together a TED Talk that I'm really excited about. And
Nice.
then I'm also actually diving into some coaching as well. Of my own.
What kind of coaching?
Mindset coaching.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, yeah. So I've been there's a program I'm working on that I'm so excited to share with you, but I can't divulge all of the information yet because I haven't gone through all the copyrights and the patents and the things that are not patents, but the trademarks and all the things I need to do first.
Right.
But it would be basically, I'm a big self-love advocate. I know you've followed some of my stuff.
Yep.
And you're very inspirational too. We've had lots of discussions about mindset. And for me, I'm a firm believer that just affects everything we do. And so I've found that some of the most rewarding parts of my shows now are not even me playing my music, but being able to talk to people afterwards. So in addition to being a musician, I really want to be able to connect with more people and just share that journey of self-love, share the inspiration with them, kind of give them a starting point for anyone who might struggle with that. And so I'm pumped. We're getting into a whole new territory here. So it should be some really good stuff. And when it does come out, you will be the first one to know about it because I'd love your feedback.
That's awesome. A few weeks ago, I had Brant Menswar on the show.
Ooh.
And
okay.
I don't know if you know who that is.
It sounds very familiar, so I feel like I've heard of him before.
So Brant is another musician. I know him for years and years and years. He's had a few bands that were signed to labels. But right now, besides having his band Big Kettle Drum, he's one of the top 10 inspirational speakers in the country.
Oh,
So
awesome.
we had a very similar chat on the show about this.
Yeah, I would love to meet this guy then.
I'm going to put you two together
Connect.
because it's a natural fit. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
So tell us about your music.
Yeah. Oh, my music. Like many people, you start off in one sound and it evolves and all of that over time. When I first started writing music, I was really big into more folk music, the singer-songwriter, which is funny because when you say singer-songwriter now, if you're, I've been in Nashville the last couple of years. I'm currently in Virginia. This is my parents' house that I'm in their attic here doing this video. But in Nashville, like you say singer-songwriter, and that's such a broad term. Anywhere outside of Nashville, you say singer-songwriter, and people automatically picture a girl with a guitar and strumming and like very flowy folk music. I started out doing kind of that style mixed with pop. And then over the last couple of years, I've really dug into the fully produced pop music. And being my own journey with self-love and my own growth in that area, a lot of my music now over the last couple of years has turned into be very inspirational, positive. Really just, you get to a point, I think, as an artist where you, and I'm sure you've been here and gone through this, but you say, okay, I wrote a drinking song. That was cool. I've written a breakup song. That's cool too. But like, what else can I contribute? Like, what can I say to the world? And so that's really the direction of a lot of my music over the last couple of years. And there's still drinking songs and dancing songs and breakup songs and all those things as well.
Because it's all part of life. I think life in general just contributes to, where we go as a writer.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
I say this, and I've had the same chat, and I'm going to have this chat with everybody who ever comes on the show. I say a lot of times that we don't write songs. We are conduits. The muse is out there. There's a message that needs to be told, and at some point it picks you to tell it. And if you accept it, we get the song.
Preach. I agree with you 1000%. And I think when I figured that out as an artist and as a writer, I didn't hold things so closely anymore because I knew it wasn't about me. It was about, I was using it to fuel and funnel through like my emotions, putting those into songs. But I do agree that like the inspiration when it comes to you, it really is almost like, especially if you get a really good song and because I've written a lot of crappy songs too.
We all.
I don't want anybody to think that if you're like you're a good songwriter all of the time. Nobody's a good songwriter all of the time.
I equate it to baseball. If you can hit 300, if you get 3 out of 10, you've done a good job.
You're winning at something. But yeah, we've all just like had those moments where you get a really good song and it flows through you. I remember there was a song I wrote with my friend Michelle, and it was a song called "Crazy for Me" that Tony Luca sings on.
Oh, he's awesome.
The album.
I gotta get him on the show.
Oh, you totally do. And I remember when I wrote that song with Michelle, or when she and I wrote it together, we were finished in like an hour and a half. And afterwards we're like, are we done? Like, is this it? Because it felt like it was so easy that it came out. And then there are other times you write a song and it comes out so quickly that you're like, I don't even know what just happened, So I do agree with you. I think that it once you've written a song and once you've released it into the world, you just dust off your hands, don't overanalyze it, don't think about it. It will get to the people it needs to get to. So.
Are you typically someone who is a quick write, or are you someone who agonizes and like everything has to, every line? And because I've written with both those, I used to go to Nashville a lot and write with a lot of people. Yeah. And I wrote with the people who were like stopping at every line. And it drove me nuts because I'm like, let's let the song speak and then we can fix it. And then I wrote with those people who were like, there it is, here you go.
Yeah. I am both. I think it depends on the song. I think it depends on the co-write. If I'm doing a song myself, I've written songs that have come out, within a couple hours and you're done. And then I've written songs that have taken months to finish. Yeah. I have done some of those co-writes as well. I would say I'm analytical. I try not to be overly analytical because there is, paralysis of analysis that can happen when you do anything. But I will say that I've had a few co-writes where the person I was with was that overly like line by line, word by word, and it was excruciatingly painful to go through that. However, the end result was incredible. So to me, it's more like it doesn't really matter how you get there as long as you get there. So,
Are you a
yeah,
notebook person? Do you keep a notebook and write song titles? Do you write ideas? Are they in your phone? Like,
I mean,
what's your process these days?
let me rephrase that. I do have notebooks. I have about a box full of maybe, I don't know, 6 or 7 notebooks that are half written in with like chicken scratch. I had to stop doing the notebook thing because I would not ever go back and reread the notebooks. I'm a phone person. I get a lot of ideas in the car, when I'm driving or when I'm out and about or walking, anything where I'm distracted or I'm not, when I'm able to free my brain up because I'm not overly focused on something is usually when the ideas come to me.
Okay.
So I have lots of voice recordings on my phone, but in terms of being the person that sits down and like has a whole, like, I don't know, Google document of song titles and ideas, I'm really not that person. Not that I couldn't be. Most of the time I don't know. I mean, I probably could be. I could probably be a little more disciplined with that, but it's just sometimes I like the titles themselves just come naturally, usually
Right.
because it's not the theme of the song. So unless I'm really, I don't ever write off title. I kind of write what the overlining theme of the song is and then let the title come naturally after that.
That's one thing I miss about touring, because I haven't toured since my kids
Yeah.
knew I was leaving. I stopped leaving, and a lot of my writing ideas would come when I was driving because I had nothing else to do. My mind
Yeah.
could slow down, and all of a sudden that would start.
I love that. The one bonus of being, or well, one of the bonuses of being on the road. I mean, obviously touring and playing music is a bonus, but it is, there is a grind to the travel and the touring and, you being a father, like not being able to be home with your wife and kids, like that's got to be a struggle. Or I'm sure it was at the time.
Was,
and
yeah.
so, yeah, so you have your good and your bad. I get people all the time, they're like, I try to say the grass is always greener, and not to downplay what we do as musicians or artists or writers. We get to do something we love, which is incredible. However, we still miss birthdays. We still miss dinners. We still miss, a lot of other life events that end up happening because we're pursuing something that we love. So there's a give and take to it, guys.
And you know what? You miss it. There's times I miss it, but then I was like, would you go back out on the road today? I was like, It wasn't an automatic yes, because there is that grind, and that's I'm not as young as I used to be, and I'm like, I wonder if I could do 3 hours a night sleep anymore.
I've never been able to do 3 hours a night sleep. I'm the person that's like, I need a good 8 to 10. So yeah, I'm actually getting to the point where, I mean, I love touring, but if we can even count this year, because it's COVID season, with everything being shut down, because I did tour in January and February of this year. But if we count this year, this will be year 7 of me touring cross country, and pending I'm even able to get out at all the rest of the year. But I'm getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I love this, and it's awesome, but what's next? Like I'm the type of person, when I've accomplished something I want to accomplish, I gotta not necessarily level up, but I gotta find something else.
Yep.
Like I've gotta re-excite. And I love playing house shows. I love the festivals that I do. But yeah, I also think about things too. Like, do I want to get married someday? Do I want to have a family as well? And like, do I also want to be 50 or 60, like driving my car across country? I don't know. Like,
Right.
your back starts hurting after a while. Like you get older, things don't work as well as they used to.
This is true. Well, that was another thing. I was going to ask you about your house, because you do a lot of house concerts.
I do a lot of house concerts. Yeah, I would say 80 to 85% of all the shows that I do are house concerts.
That's awesome.
They're amazing. They're so incredible.
So people, if you're looking for someone to come to your house and play music,
right now,
right there.
Yeah, I can even virtual play at your house right now.
Yeah.
That's that most musicians are like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's it's funny that when you get to a place as a musician, whether you're a cover artist or a touring artist or any of those things, when you're in high demand, it's easy to say no to shows, because you just think, okay, I would love to do that show, but I need to take a break. Like if you're, because I did bar gigs for a long time. Like before I toured with my original music, like every other musician, I had to do the cover show grind. I had to earn my chops of like, I've got to get experience. I've got to play this coffee shop, and I would work in my original music as well. but I didn't have at that point when I was starting out, 13 years ago, I didn't have 2-3 hours of original music yet. I needed to build that up. And I would play, hotels or bars or all this stuff. But when you, even if you're a cover musician and you're playing like 6 nights a week, you still need one night off. And so when you're super busy, you're like, okay, I can take that off. However, now in COVID, it's like, I haven't played a show in months. I'll take anything right now.
Yeah. We've started getting some back up here finally. I've done a few private parties in the last few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And now we get my agent called up and said, "Hey, your one club is coming back online, starting to come back a little bit."
Starting to come back a little bit. I love it. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about "Hold On."
Oh yes.
So tell me about the song. Tell me, where did it come from? What was the impetus?
Well, know what? That's a great question, and actually, it leads perfectly from the last conversation we just had. Hold On. I got the idea for this song at the end of a tour. It was maybe a couple years ago, and I was in my car, and this feeling from being on the road. Like, I was just physically and mentally exhausted. I had booked myself, because when I book a tour, I mean, I go for it. Like the first year I was out for 5 months in a row. The second year I did 6 months in a row. Like I didn't take breaks, and I've tried to take more breaks now as the years have gone on. But I had, it was kind of back to back from like May to October, November is a lot of touring. And like, this is minor touring in comparison to what big national acts do. But for me, I just physically and mentally, I was tired. I was really worn out.
But you also don't have the support that those acts do. You don't have somebody tour managing you and driving you. You have to do the driving. You have to do the calls. You have to do.
Yeah, exactly. So. And so, but yeah, and it's just a different type of work. Absolutely. Right. I just was tired. And I remember being in my car, just kind of like going into that mental space of like, okay, like I love doing this. I love playing music. I love connecting with people, and I love being self-employed, but it's like, I also don't have a retirement. I also don't like get time with my, my family. I don't, it's like that whole part where you start to doubt a little bit, and you're like, okay, how much more can I do? How many more shows can I play? How many more miles can I put in my car? How many more, spare bedrooms and couches and places can I sleep in? Because the people that host me for shows, I stay at their homes as well, and they feed me, and it's wonderful. It's absolutely such a fulfilling, wonderful connection. But at the same time, like, if you're used to a certain bed or a certain pillow, and like, like there's, it just messes with you a little bit. And I just got to this place where I was like, how much more do I have? And I had this little voice that kind of came into my head, and it said, just hold on, just don't give up. Good things are going to come. Hold on and don't give up. Good things are going to come. And that's all I had. And then I started thinking, okay, like I got this melody in my head, because I kind of write melody and lyrics at the same time. I do what I call phonetic writing, where I'll get a melody and I'll just kind of sing something that sounds like words to get like the vowel placement.
Yes. Yep. I've done that same thing.
Oh yeah, I love doing that. It's easy. I'm like, it's just like, I mean, it sounds silly when I do it like that, but you get like, I get ideas. I'm like, okay, I know that whatever word I put there, I want it to have like an A sound, and whichever one here, it's gonna have like a ooh, but I had this this melody pop in my head. I was like, hold on, good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come. And that's literally all I had. And then like for the verses, it was like da 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 da. And then I said, don't give up, don't give up. And then like, if you've heard this song, there's like a pop in the song that I do. That pop really was road boredom. Like, you've been in the car and you just make weird noises because you've been driving for so long.
Oh yeah.
I was like, don't give up. Don't give up. And then I did don't give up. And I did this pop, and I've got like a little lip gloss on so you can't see it. But I did that and I was like, that's actually kind of cool. So I recorded it, but all in all, the song, that was it. That's all I had. So when I went to record the album or the EP, Hold On, I went to the producers I used, Kit Carlson and Chip Johnson from Alpine Red Studios in Virginia.
I know Kit.
Amazing guys, amazing producers.
Ridiculous.
Just such delights to work with. And I went to them and I was like, so I know that we said we were going to do an album and I have some songs written and then I want to do this one, but it's not done yet. And I basically just came to them and I was like, we've got a song we need to all write together. And so I left, they were like, okay, so we kind of laid down what I had, the melody ideas that I had, and then the chorus, because the chorus was really simple. Because the other hard part when you write a song like this, it's motivational and it's simple lyrics, you have to be very careful not to make it cheesy. Like there's got to be that, like that fine line of lyrical placement. And when you say, hold on, don't give up, good things are going to come, you're like, well, what else do I need to say? Like, that's the point right there. But you can't fill a whole song up with that. So I went back to Nashville and I started working on the song again. And I brought in my friend, Megan Farrell, who actually sings with me as well. She's a singer-songwriter, has her solo career, but also is just a wonderful human being. And so we sat around and kind of played around with lyrics and then sent things to the guys, the two producers, they played around with lyrics. And then finally it was like, we need to record this song like today. So we need to finish what we're doing in the studio.
It's called a deadline.
Put something to paper, damn it. And I remember it was, so I flew back to Virginia and Kit and Chip and I, we had this song, it was 90% done. And there was this one lyric we couldn't get, and it was in the second verse. And we're sitting there and we're doing everything. And Megan was at her day job working. And I was like, let me text Megan, see if she can just get on the phone with us really quick and just throw an outside perspective in. And it was like, because the lyric starts, when you're out of patience, take a breath, you can change it. Don't give up, don't give up. And then it was like, remember if you fall again. And then we couldn't get the part after that. So Megan gets on the phone. We've been going back and forth over this for like an hour or so now. We get Megan on the phone and we call her and we're like, okay, we got this. We're like, it's not wait, remember if you fall again. And then we got nothing. She goes, well, what about it's not a break, it's just a bend. And I'm like,
2 seconds.
Perfect. 2 seconds, Megan. Yep. 2 freaking seconds. We've been like nailing this song for days or like trying to get it all placed out. And and she comes in. So that's honestly the whole song. That's my favorite line out of that whole song.
And that's just that.
Yes. It was the little gem that came through. And I was like, it's not a break. It's just a bend. Holy shit. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on this
You're
show.
fine.
But it was just so well placed. So yeah. And so now this song is just that kind of keep going. Don't give up. Like you're going to have some ups and downs, you know, it just is what it is, but just keep going. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, everybody.
It was a long description of that. Sorry.
No, that's what this show's about. That's what this whole thing is about. It's the why. You know,
yeah.
I want everybody to understand why, so that when they hear the song, they're like, oh,
that was it.
Yeah. So everybody, this is Amy Gerhartz, and hold on.
When your heart is aching and your world is shaking, don't give up. No, no, don't give up. When your light is fading from the troubles you're facing, don't give up. No, no, you're enough. Hold on. Hold on. Good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come. Hold on. Hold on. Good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come to you. When you're out of patience, take a breath, you can change it. Don't give up. No, no, don't give up. Remember if you fall again, it's not a break, it's just a bend. So don't give up. No, no, pick yourself back up and hold on. Hold on. Good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come. Hold on. Hold on. Good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come you. Good things are gonna come. Good things are gonna come to you.
Yay. That song is so awesome.
Thank you.
I remember the first time I heard that song. You had just put it out, and I went to iTunes and listened to it, and I was like, that's not Amy. Because it was such a departure from
Totally.
the early, like we talked about earlier, where you evolved. Yeah. And I, you know, that singer-songwritery sound was gone. That was just all pop girl now, and it was such a cool departure. But it still had your voice, and that voice that's like, you have an unmistakable voice. If people know who Amy Gerhartz is, they know that voice. So it was like, that voice on this song, it's like, but it works so well.
I was so happy about this song. And you know, it's funny, and it's not that I don't still do that singer-songwriter style. I do have certain songs that I still write that get recorded, you know, that still have that guitar picking folk feel. But I mean, I don't know if you're like this as well, John, but like I get really weird song ideas. Like I'll get my normal song ideas that you're like, this would be top 40 radio. And then you're like, but I get these really weird. And I don't know if it's because I went to music school or just because I listen to a plethora of different things. But every now and then I get like an idea and I was like, that just might work. Like, it's so weird that it might work. And this was kind of like my stepping my toes into the water. Let's try some cool sounds. Like, let's try